there, welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera, my friends. Speaking to this decanted who has something to do with the slave trade here, and we just had a conversation with Dracogen. Let's go deeper into the Bloom's trade. What seizes your eye first about this humanoid automaton? Not the cunning construction of its slender limbs or the gleaming white armor that covers its chassis. It is instead the frozen human head that peers out from a frost-covered dome in the construct's chest. Here. The head examines you carefully from head to toe. You feel a subtle warmth as scanners inside the machine assess you. The automaton's gaze shifts to Rin and remains on her for a long, long moment, and returns to you. The voice that squawks through a grill mounted atop the construct's head is flat and expressionless. Greetings, we are called the Decanted. We are here representing buyers from our society. Our clients greatly value beauty and physical fitness. Distorted howl cuts its speech short. Apologies, maintenance for this vessel has not been optimal in recent times. Rectification to be undertaken soon. To summarize, we seek beautiful creatures to honor them. For instance, the young man who stands nearby points at Koti. Do you see the interplay of muscles in its body? It is strong but not overbuilt. The biceps are pleasantly rounded, as are the pectorals. The body has little fat and appears to be in good condition. This is popular fashion among our clients. These are some examples of the traits we seek. Skrill squawks again with a blast of noise. Apologies. Makes a small adjustment. We are here that we might take these subjects to the Optero suite. We offer a life of luxury, privilege, and pleasure for everybody it accepts. Pauses. We offer great rewards. We require 3 individuals with aesthetically pleasing bodies. Perhaps we can be of mutual assistance. Why couldn't you simply have bought Cody directly? The auctioneer refuses our coins. He will not sell to us. There must be a reason for that. Why do you keep looking at Rin?
Remember that.
Strong muscle tone, athletic build, great potential to become a suitable recruit. Allowed to take her, we will ensure that she grows to be a healthy, physically active woman in superb condition. Tell me about yourself. The grill buzzes out its flat voice again. We do not have a personal appellation. You would understand. Your people commonly refer to ours as decanted. We achieve long life through these forms you see, our heads separated and preserved. We need not retain our original forms to preserve the knowledge we carry. We can shed these bodies but live on. This one has lived hundreds of years, though its original body is long since dust. Okay, and so you buy fit people and slaughter their bodies for your continued existence. Is that what the logical continuation is? We admire beauty in all its forms and seek to preserve it. We do this as a service to ourselves and as our duty to the world, so that future generations can learn to appreciate beauty as we do. Well, we've got to talk to the slave trader about why he doesn't sell to these guys, the decanted. And with Dracogen too. Can we talk now? Flint turns from his clients, his smile apologetic, but unnaturally wide as ever. I'm afraid I have no more illicit under-the-table deals for you. Yeah, so, I spoke to a construct near the slave pit. It says you refuse to do business with it. Huh? What construct? Flint turns and peers toward the slave pit, and his eyes narrow, and his enormous mouth twists like a serpent. That is no mere construct, I assure you. It was once a creature of flesh and blood like you and me, and it will be again if it fills its quota.
I'll remember that.
He lowers his voice. I presume you saw the withered head in the middle of its chest? Well, they say that those creatures are always on the prowl for young men and women of unusual beauty. They acquire such people, they spirit them away, slice off their heads and replace them with their own. A ghoulish practice, but it allows them to live as humans for a time. Rin shudders. That is not the sort of business we do here. Okay, thank you and farewell. Attempt to lay your head. Yeah, that would be nice for the decanted, right? It can lay its head. Maybe we should ask Dracogon about it. What is that? Oh, that's Cody. Dracogon's voice is less patient. You return again. Surely this time you bear what you promised. If the air, alas, you do not. Time of mere mortals is not of the same scale allotted to cast-offs, friend. I urge you to speak your search. Grizzler tells me the trade post is gone, devoured. Dracogon's voice sharpens, and his gaze is intense. You have agreed to my terms. You now tell me that you cannot fulfill your end of the bargain. I think not. You are resourceful. Browns, I doubt the trade post is truly gone. You simply need to find another Moor that will take you there. But is this cast-off weaker than her kind, or is she simply toying with me? Okay, farewell.
That's something I could do.
Farewell. We'll talk. Oh, there's something in here, right? These refugees. Ah, that was the thing we didn't want to take. Yeah, we will leave it alone. Was it...
Sure.
Has the heating for these guys. Oh, there's the Philotis again. Let's talk. This Philotis seems remarkably similar to the one you met in Sega's Cliffs. Perception. Indeed, it is identical to the other one in every respect. If it notices your presence, it gives no sign. Instead, it watches the slave market with a scholar's avid disinterest. Abruptly, its glass face twists in your direction. In a rasping, uninflected voice, it asks, "Why did the child wail?" Let's do something it would not understand. That's just what children do. They cry. For a span, the Philotis stands still and silent. Then with a gasp like the opening of an old vault, it sighs. Ah! After a moment, it seems to nod slightly, as if inviting you to pose questions of your own. What are you? A strange piping voice, the Philotis replies, a mudlark on the bank of the river Time. I've seen you before, haven't I? The hall was dark, and the plasma gleamed. Together we posed questions. Seems the only answer it intends to give. Do you know anything about the bloom? A socket, a doorknob, a crumbling cliff. These are not your face. Each that is itself. The words, already slow, screech to a stop. Its glassy face cocks slightly, and a whir comes from within its robes. The mirror does not look back. The bloom cannot teach, but it leaves scraps. One gathers. What are you trying to find? A long, low exhalation comes from the Philotis. The question. Tell me more about the bloom. Philotis silently contemplates the question for a time, then simply answers no. Is there something I can do to help you, maybe? Question hangs before the silent Philotis. It gives no answer, not even one of the varied sounds of its contemplation. Eventually it becomes clear that nothing will come. Do you know where I can find a Moor? You will. Okay. I said, can I help you? Again, the Philotis stands silent. I'm looking for someone, a fellow cast-off of the changing god. Philotis leans its whole huge bulk toward you, such that your face swells and deforms in its round reflection. You yourself must find. The thing's voice grates with labored certainty. Tell me more about the bloom. No? Okay. Farewell. Well, that's the Philotis, right? There's Cody. Has something changed with Cody? Let's try again. Not really. Okay. Okay. Some bloom dwellers. That's Bruska. Waits for prey. Skydie.
Go.
Now let's return here. And find these thieves. Again, they were standing in that dark alley. Let's hope they are not dead by now. That's something that happens in this game. People just die. They don't wait for you arriving.
All right.
We could go this way, but we are not sure if this is the right way. Is this the right way? I'm really not...
Go.
Let's go here, then. No. The observants... Oh, what are these guys? Well, then I guess we'll do something else, as we are stumbling into that cavern. Oh, missing an arm, or a hand, rather.
Let's go.
What's on this table? A slab of pitted stone sits in the center of the shrine, heaped with a motley display of offerings. Judging by the accumulated dust and filth, it's been here for decades or longer. We'll examine. The objects on the tab are a bizarre mixture of trophies left by visitors to the shrine. Many of the offerings appear to be food of the most ghastly nature. Candied eyeballs, amputated fingers and claws in little cakes and pies, and puddings made from other unidentifiable organs, probably all harvested from vanquished foes. You also see broken weapons, severed limbs, and a scattering of silver items, little pots, cutlery, buttons, and other discarded scraps of the metal. People have obviously been leaving their offerings here for some time, and everything is a jumbled mess. Perception. Your sharp eyes catch sight of tiny bloom tendrils that snake along the surface of the slab. Attaching themselves to the offerings, they writhe and undulate, as if feeding upon them, yet the offerings bear no physical signs that they've been touched. Examine again. Objects on the table consist of questionable food, broken weapons, desiccated body parts, and various trinkets made of silver. The sharp eyes catch sight of the tiny bloom tendrils again. Okay. As the cultists say, what are you, friend or foe? Or to our god, the whispers unclear. Yeah, I see. Well, we'll talk. The Observant Speck, it's called. In a shadowy corner of the shrine lurks an old woman, so tiny and unremarkable she blends into the gloom. She's been watching you since you arrived, following you with bright, intense eyes. You notice that one of her arms is missing at the elbow. Scan thoughts. She's here. Greetings. The whispers told me you were coming, Kastov. They often do when someone they regard as interesting finds their way to the bloom. Her voice is soft and shifting, as if everything she says is echoed the chittering voices of the bloom. Suddenly, she's at your side, one small hand touching your arm. Her eyes probe yours. Did you come here with purpose? Do you know what place this is? You realize this shrine does feel familiar, as if you, or perhaps the changing god, have been here before. Before I answer, tell me how you know about Kastovs. The Observant Speck. The whispers told me. They talk to themselves mostly, but they don't mind if I listen. She cocks her head bird-like, her eyes straying to your Kastov tattoos. You're not the first of your kind to hide in the bloom. The others were drawn by fear or instinct or the unconscious knowledge that the thing that hunts you cannot follow, for death has no place here, only hunger. Now I've answered your question. Will you answer mine? She gestures around her. Do you know this place? I'll try to remember. I'll remember relatively hard. Let's go. We did it. You scan the room, searching for anything that might seem familiar. A metallic gleam catches your eyes from the nearby slab of stone. It lies partly buried beneath a motley pile of offerings, but the unusual shape of the metal sparks a memory. The old woman follows your gaze. He left that as an offering. Your sire did when he was here. You can almost feel the weight of the device in your hand. The sudden jarring clarity, you see the chamber as it was 40 years past, when the changing gods stood before a group of robed bloom cultists, offering the device in trade for information. And in the corner, an elderly woman, bird-like with shining eyes. This woman you've just met, or someone much like her, was at the shrine then too. He pored over every scroll, she whispers half to herself, wanting to learn how Sheela forged a friendship with the bloom, a bond that imposed no price upon her, or so he thought. And now here you are in the shrine of Sheela the Great, Sheela Silverskin. Sheela the bride of the hammer, and I am her observant speck. What can you tell me about Sheela? Stories, she murmurs. Passed from one speck to the next, so many stories, told by so many tongues, too many to hold in my head, but the bloom remembers, and it whispers in my ears to remind me. Where did Sheela come from? Speck closes her eyes and cocks her head like a bird's, as if listening to the voices of the bloom. As she begins to speak, the faint chitters and whispers that always underlie her words grow louder, twisting them around in your head and spawning images in your mind's eye. Speak to me, whispers. Tell me again about Sheela. Look up high on the cliffs, a sturdy little house. Cliffs of sagas flash before your eyes, crowded with old ramshackle homes. They cling to the rocks like spindly crabs high above the sea. One of them catches your eye, a pretty little house, freshly painted blue and green in a solid nook of stone. A man and a woman dwell inside, a father and a mother, 2 children they have, a girl and a boy. Now you can see the people too. The girl is tall for her age, robust and strong. The brother is small and cautious and quick. Keep listening. One day the father pulls a treasure from the sea. You can't see the man in a fishing boat, hauling a silvery cylinder out of his net. Looking at it in wonder, he brings it home to his family. What shall I do with this artifact, he wonders, for I am a simple man, not a wizard or a sage. The man glances out the window of his house and sees his 2 children playing in the street. Artifacts bring trouble, he says to himself, and I have a family to protect. I'll bring this treasure to the boss of the town, and she will thank me for it. So the next day, the man gathers the treasure in the sack and sets out for the manor at the top of the cliffs. His daughter Sheela wants to go with him, but he shakes his head and goes alone. We'll keep listening. Many weeks pass. The man never returns from the manor on the hill. Sheela asks everyone she knows, but no one has seen her father. One day, just as she and her brother leave their house in the morning, they hear a crash behind them. In your mind's eye, you can see the pretty little house pulling away from the cliff, its wooden supports snapping like twigs, bursting apart as it falls toward the sea. It strikes you as strange that this house, seemingly kept so much better than its neighbors, should collapse so suddenly. The children race back along the road, only to find that their house is gone. Their mother lies dead among the rocks. As her brother curls up in the street and weeps, Sheela stands beside him, gazing toward the manor at the top of the cliffs. I know you did this, she whispers, and I know what you did to my father. The treasure you took from him is my birthright, and I will have it back. Wow, that's what drove her? Vengeance? Not vengeance, a desire to be extraordinary. The speck's voice is quiet again. The whispers receded, and you sense that these words are truly her own. Sheela believed that her parents were easy victims because no one knew who they were. They had been prominent and well known. The boss of Sagas wouldn't have dared to harm them, but they were small and simple folk. But no one cared when they died. Scan thoughts 4. What else matters but to be known? The changing god also knew this. We'll continue the story in the next episode. Have a great time until then and happy gaming. This is Immanuel Khan signing out. See you soon for more stories from the blue. I'm looking forward to it, and you.